Hello and welcome to the English virtual class. The topic for today is listening and speaking, pronunciation, presenting, expressing opinions, conversations, debating. You are going to listen and to read a conversation and choose the best answer for each question. Let's begin. Anna, you spent a year of your undergraduate degree studying abroad, didn't you? Yes, that's true, Nathan. I spent my second year studying in Copenhagen. That's what I heard. The reason I'm asking is I'm thinking about applying for a grant to spend a term abroad in Barcelona next year. But before I make my decision, I wanted to speak to some people who have done the whole study abroad thing. You don't mind, don't you? Of course not. Great, well, I was just wondering, how did you find the whole experience? I mean, was it everything you hoped it would be, or did it fall short on your expectations? It exceeded my expectations. I can honestly say I learned more about life and about myself in that 1 year than I had up to that point in my life. I can't recommend it enough. If you have the chance, you should do it. Let's continue. You must have faced some difficulties though, or found some things challenging. Of course, it took a while to get used to living with my host family, for example, and I missed my friends back home quite a lot at first. But I'd say the hardest thing was balancing study with my new social life. There were so many exciting new things I wanted to do being in a new country that I found it really hard to motivate myself to do my coursework. The first term I was away, I actually almost failed a couple of classes. It wasn't that the coursework was difficult. I'd been scared it might be, as some people had told me that European universities are tougher than ours, but I found the level to be about the same. The workload was greater, but the difficulty was the same. So what were the best things about the whole experience? Well, meeting new people, obviously, and learning about a whole new culture. But then there were things I didn't expect, things like how independent I became and how much more confident I got. Living overseas on your own really challenges you. It makes you grow up. I didn't even understand how much I had matured until I got back to Australia. I'm concerned about the cost of living abroad. Did you work while you were over there, and was it easy to find a part-time job not speaking the language fluently? Yes, I did take a part-time job. I worked in a pizza parlor. I wasn't serving the customers though. I was just making the pizza, so I didn't need to speak good Danish. The reason I got the job was some of my Danish friends who were working there recommended it to me and me for it. I don't know if I would have got it otherwise, as my Danish was very basic. But yes, if you can, it's a good idea to get a job, because if you're anything like me, it will make your time abroad more pleasant, as you'll have the money to do the things you want to do. And of course, an added bonus in your language skills do end up improving, and you'll meet a lot of new people. Let's continue the reading. So what was it like coming back home after a year away? Well, when I first got back, I was on cloud 9 for about a week. But then I felt really depressed being back, and it became obvious really quickly that my friends didn't like listening to what a great time I had had. I guess they were jealous in a way, so I ended up being able to talk to them about my experience. It was about 6 months before I got used to life here again. Unfortunately, getting depressed when you come back home is pretty common. It's a phenomenon known as reverse culture shock, and although it doesn't affect your returning or every returning student, there's a chance it could happen to you. Thanks, Anna. You've definitely given me some things to think about. No problem, Nathan. And don't hesitate to come and talk to me again if you have any more questions. Now, let's see the questions and choose the correct answers. The first one, Nathan is planning to A. Go to Barcelona for a year, B. Seek financial help for his studies, or C. Do an undergraduate degree at a foreign university. Think about it. The second one, when asked how she found her study abroad experience, Anna says A. She wishes she had done it sooner. She thinks everyone should have one. Or C, it was better than she expected it to be. Think about it also. And the third one of the difficulties Anna faced was that A, there wasn't enough time to do her coursework, B, she found it hard settling in Denmark and making friends, or C, she didn't expect her course to be so hard. Think about it. Number 4. For Anna, the best thing about the whole experience was she came back, A, appreciating Australia more, B, much more adult, or C, confident enough to leave home. Think about it. Number 5, the main reason Anna took a part-time job was A, she wanted the money, B, that her friends advised her to, or C, to improve her Danish. Think about it. Number 6, after her year abroad, Anna A, didn't want to leave Denmark. B, took a long time to settle back into her old life. C, no longer had anything in common with her old friends. Now let's see the correct answers. The first one is B, seek financial help for his studies. The second one is C, that it was better than she expected it to be. The third one is C, she didn't expect her course to be so hard. Let's continue. 4. For Anna, the best thing about the whole experience was she came back much more adult. Number 5, the main reason Anna took a part-time job was she wanted the money. Number 6, the last one, it's B. After her year abroad, Anna took a long time to settle back into her old life. Now let's continue with some helpful vocabulary. To ask for opinion, try to use "What do you think?" When expressing opinions, try to use "I strongly believe, in my opinion, I feel that." When expressing uncertainty or speculating about something, use "I'm not really sure, it could or may be that probably means." Also, when agreeing or disagreeing, try to use "You could be right, maybe you're right." "I suppose so, I suppose that's true." "I take your point, but." "I see what you mean, but." "I'm sorry, but I think." Also, "You may" or "I could be right, but." "Surely not, that can't be." "I think, but I'm not sure, that may be true," or "on the other hand." Giving a presentation now. How to give a presentation correctly? Try to keep in mind introducing the topic firstly. Have you ever thought about or considered or wondered how, why, what? Use. During this presentation, I plan to tell you about. Also use. You may be wondering why I've chosen to talk about today. Well, let me explain. When introducing familiar information we are all familiar with, you may be aware that, you may already know that, perhaps you have heard of or about. Also, when introducing surprising information, use "most people aren't aware or don't realize," but "did you know that?" You might not know that. Also, when finishing your presentation, use "Okay, that's all from me." Thank you for listening. I hope you found the presentation interesting. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask now. Now it is your turn. Using the language we dealt with in this lesson, learned earlier, create a dialogue between two people expressing their opinions on attending a private school or a state school. About the private school, mention the modern facilities, equipment, better books, supplies, up-to-date computers, more challenging curriculum. Also, lower student-teacher class ratios, high cost, high pressure to succeed. When talking about a state school, the state schools mention more diverse students' body, low cost, also large class sizes, and limited access to learning materials. Thank you very much for your attention.